Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. This is my pre-market report. I wasn't even sure I was going to get a video out here today. Most of you know that I did lose my dog yesterday, Vega, but I did have the privilege of having her for 16 and a half years. We adopted her from the shelter at one. So, with that, look, I'm a little down today, but you know what? I'm also up as well. Her suffering is over, and there is no death. There is only life. Let's just all remember that, okay? She's just gone home to God. And with that said, people, it is time to get to work here. And I always promise you I'll never let you down. I'm not going to do that. For those of you that were waiting for my updates with regard to the S&P 500, gold, crude oil, Bitcoin, and XRP, it's all there for you on my website right now with new trades. It's on my website, link in the description of this video if you want to go have a look at that. You might want to go check out what I said with regard to XRP. I think it's coiling here, and I believe it's highly likely we're going to see a big move higher with regard to XRP uh, pretty soon. We'll keep our eyes on that. So listen, just for this morning, real quick, uh, let's talk about what's going on here. The U.S. economy just got a major downgrade, another one moving forward, and they're citing what you and I already know. It's incredible, really. Exploding debts and deficits. These are not going to stop. There's not a single roadblock in place right now to prevent any of it from getting worse. Again, since they can't cut, they won't cut. What are they going to do? They're going to inflate. And I believe to a degree, they have no choice other than letting this collapse. I mean, could we fix this right now? Yes, in 7 seconds. President Trump right now could fix the situation by reinstating or instituting, the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. We could end the Fed and go back to a gold-backed system in 7 seconds. Not going to happen. Instead, we're going to get exploding debts and deficits. The economy is going to suffer. The middle class is going to suffer, and a small business wipeout on a scale people aren't prepared for in any way, shape, or form. But the setup for the stock market is this. You got futures lower across the board, but not by much. You got the dollar this morning, a little bump higher. We're talking about relative strength. I want to address that in a moment with you. We got the 10-year yield dropping a little bit this morning. There's some debt buying. I'm going to give you one guess who's doing that, at least to try to prop up the system a little more. Gold and silver under a little pressure this morning after yesterday's epic runs higher. We haven't seen anything yet here, people. You all know that. The warnings that we've been getting, two profound warnings from, the Babylonian priest himself. I'm talking about Jamie Dimon, warning about the debt market, as you and I know forever now. But the bond market is shaking, and it shook out the creature here, Dimon, and he's out here warning not you, but letting the elites like himself realize that the moment of truth is rapidly approaching, and that's what I want to talk about with you in just a moment. That's kind of what we got going on here. You got cryptocurrencies catching a bid this morning. Bitcoin around 106,000. Look for resistance, my lions, here around 110,000. We did break above that recently. We pulled back. That tells me that we got resistance there. But I would say watch for a breakout above 110,000, not too far off. All right. Again, I have this all laid out for you right now on my website. There's a link in the description of the video. I did short reviews, not my usual long ones here, because I've been kind of out of it since yesterday, as you can imagine. But again, look, man, I feel good with what's happened and what happened here, and I understand Vega's no longer suffering, and I can live with that. She was really a great dog. I loved her so much. Anyway, guys, listen. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna cover this with you right now. This is in your inbox right now. I couldn't sleep, just thinking about things. But anyway, so I put this together for you. It's in your inbox right now. My newsletter. If you do subscribe. So let me read this to you And I want to gain a deeper perspective on what's going on. So I wrote alert, another nail in the coffin of Babylon's illusions. And here is what's next. It's too obvious what's going on, why they're doing it, and therefore where we're going. It's unstoppable, as I just covered yesterday with the four elements of the economy that are now in play together. Once these start happening, and it's going on right now, it can't be stopped. And not only can it be stopped, but we're being pushed further, faster towards an end game. So that means you and I got to really remain even more diligent and on top of what's happening and take action. Again, bet against the system. They're destroying the system only to issue in a new one. We're on the same page with that. At least I hope we are. Everyone knows it's coming. Maximum control. You don't like it? Start pushing back. Push back against Babylon. Share the video. Get it out there. Start talking right to your representatives. Let them know that you're not stupid. All right? Write directly to President Trump. Say, listen, man, what's going on here? Okay, what happened to this, that, and the other thing? Look, it was too obvious to those of us who were awake that nothing was going to change. Just they put a new figurehead behind the Resolute desk, make a lot of promises, and none of it happens, okay? More war, more death, more pain, more suffering, more debts, and more exploding deficits and everything else. It's not going to stop, okay? They could put a farm animal, as I said, behind the Resolute desk. Nothing would change. I've been telling you that for years. Let's get back to this. Alert. Another nail in the coffin of Babylon's illusions, and this is what's next. Lions, another nail in the coffin of Babylon's illusions. This morning, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development sharply downgraded its outlook of the U.S. economy, citing, you're not going to believe this, exploding debts and continuing deficits moving forward. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Because you and I have been so far ahead of the curve on all this. I mean, how did this, it's almost embarrassing when you have an organization like this, you know, some big lofty organization telling you now what you and I have already known for the last decade. Okay, but this is what they're telling us. It's an incredible thing. So let's break this down. The United States is in a full-on and worsening debt crisis. Pretty obvious? Okay, let's just go over the basics here. The U.S. debt now over $36 trillion and climbing rapidly with no plan whatsoever to cut spending or reverse the deficit. In fact, just the opposite. Since they cannot cut and have zero plans to do so, they must inflate, further exacerbating the problem. On the same page, every dollar printed or created out of nothing is another nail in the coffin of Babylon's illusion. It's also another nail in the economy and another nail stuck right in your back, because this is massively inflationary, obviously, and they know that, we know that, but it's not going to stop. So this is why the bond market is shaking right now, as we discussed yesterday, and why the Babylonian priest Jamie Dimon is now dishing out warnings. Oh yes, he's warning us. You can't make it up, but that's exactly what's going on. Confidence is slipping and the cost of borrowing is rising. Once trust is gone, I mean, look, man, how long is the world going to sit here? Look, what's happening is pretty obvious. The United States is hanging itself, literally, and you got nations around the world, especially the BRICS, who are sitting there laughing. They're laughing, really, because they're watching the United States be destroyed from within, and they're laughing at the entire situation, and they're laughing at you and me, but you know what? We're laughing back. Because we see it all. We've seen it all. And we've been taking action against this for I don't know how many freaking years now. Well over a decade. You can't make it up. You can't make any of this stuff. Further dollars decline. Here's a typo for you. But anyway, I'm not going to fix it. It's in there, whatever. So further dollar decline. Purchasing power is disintegrating. Okay, can we agree on that? Okay, you notice how you don't hear about it anymore? CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, nothing. You don't even hear about it. It's gone. It's like it doesn't matter. Because again, they think if you don't hear about it, you're too stupid to know that it's actually going on here. So, purchasing power is disintegrating. The dollar still looks okay, as we just discussed, in Forex terms or a relative strength. But all the currencies around the world are sick. Why? They're being destroyed from within by their own central banks. You and I have been speaking about this for 10 freaking years. It's a race to the bottom to see who can destroy their currency faster. Amazing how they're all working in concert together like this, but it's what's happening. But again, on the street where we live, where the people live, the dollar, other currencies here are buying less and less. Inflation is the hidden tax robbing we the people blind to keep Babylon's game alive. Now, on the economy, okay, I'm going to break this down really simple for you. I mean, look how easy this is. I try to keep everything very simple for you. So, a lot of this stuff seems convoluted. So let's just break this down. So on the economy, U.S. growth, we're not growing. The economy is cratering rapidly. The recent U.S. debt downgrade here that our illustrious U.S. Treasury Secretary, he said it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter because what this is, you're seeing the action in the bond market here that our illustrious Jamie Dimon is warning about. Well, this is, again, what is it doing? It's pushing rates higher. Borrowing costs are higher now. This plus skyrocketing debt is there's with no way forward other than further decline. People, we could fix it all, but they're not going to fix it all. They're not going to fix it all because they need to allow okay, look, world leaders, all of them are puppets. They are puppets, and they are working for the central banks who are collectively destroying us all from within. Yes, if there's so few of them and so many of us, but they're the ones pulling the strings. We're the ones who should be taking control back. We need a rebellion. We need a revolution. It's the only way to change it. Does this sound about right to you or no? Consumers and small businesses are feeling the squeeze big time, and it's about to get worse. So what does this all mean, Lions? The system is moving closer to the breaking point, and I go on to say I would say this, we're already there. That's why we're seeing what's going on here. Expect more bond market turmoil as investors demand higher yields on the back of the U.S. debt downgrade that our illustrious Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said didn't matter. Again, remember what I'm telling you. The singular job of every U.S. Treasury Secretary is one thing: to peddle debt. That's all they do. Peddle debt to the world. The world ain't buying. You're not buying anyway here. So expect more bond market turmoil as investors demand higher yields to offset risk. Expect negative real growth while prices continue to rise. Now, expect desperate actions from Babylon's leaders, false flags, digital currency rollouts, anything to buy more time. People expect even the unexpected. Anything. Because, again, they're not done pressuring you and I, okay? Squeezing the middle class to death to make us more dependent and slaves to the current system, so we beg for a new one. People, we're on point here. You and I have been so dead on with this. It's an incredible thing. But do you see it yet? I think most of you do. 90% of you see it. Some people think this is just some kind of a delusion. They can't wake up. They can't wake up no matter what they see with their own eyes, hear, feel. They can't wake up. They're still locked in a delusion. And that's a problem. That's a real problem here. But you and I, we're taking action, okay? We're doing what we need to do. And again, what do we do about this? Okay, first of all, you need to push back. We need to push back collectively. If we act as one voice, we could punch holes through this system. I've been telling you about this. That means that you need to do something. Okay? You could share these videos. You could get these videos out there. You could comment here. Let the algorithms pick up the video. If it burns your thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. Get it out there. You could, look, don't feel powerless. They want you to think you can't take action. Start writing to every single one of your so-called representatives and go right to the man himself, Donald Trump. Use his Truth Social, which is Lie Social, quite obviously, okay? Go out there and start posting and posting and posting and posting. That's what I would say, okay? You got to start somewhere. Let them know that we're not stupid, that we are waking up, that we know what's going on here, that we know we're being deceived, that we've been lied to. And for those of you that maybe are starting to wake up and you thought things would be different, you're the one I'm reaching out to mostly, because the people here, we've all been awake. Join the party here, man. Wake up. Join this pride of the lions here who've been on the right side of this equation for over a decade. From a financial standpoint, people, you got to bet against the system. Hoard. Physical silver. My favorite asset on this planet Earth at this time here. Gold, number 2. Platinum and palladium, number 3. Gain exposure to commodities. Crude oil. Okay, you can do this through an exchange traded fund if you are so inclined to do that. With regard to the stock market, I believe we're going to see a lot more easy money pumped into this. The distortions that exist between reality and the stock market right now are beyond anything we've ever seen before in the history of the world. But again, the market's counting on more easy money from the Fed, and it's going to get it. It's going to get it. All the calls from the President of the United States for a weaker dollar, all the calls from the President of the United States for lower rates. The Fed is going to follow suit here. They're working in concert together to bring about the new system. When are you guys and girls who are going to wake up who can't see it yet? All world leaders are doing the same thing. They're making sure that the central banks get to fulfill their end game here, to own it all, to be the buyers and lenders of last resort. Sound familiar? I've been telling you this for 1,000 years now. This is what's happening. We do not have representation anywhere in the world, especially here in the United States here. We do not have it. All leaders all represent the special interests and the central banks. They don't represent us, okay? If they did, do you think things would be the way they are right now? Of course they wouldn't. We could end the Fed in 7 seconds. President Trump could end the Fed. By the time he finishes his signature, the Fed would end today, and we could go back to a gold-backed system, the Gold Reserve Act of 1934. If you're new here, look this up for yourself. That's in the power of the President of the United States. At his whim, can do it. Not happening. Instead, we're going to see more debts and deficits balloon out of control, or in control, because this is where they're pushing it. Well, you and I pay for it all. We are paying for it all. Again, who benefits? The 1% and 2%ers. The elites via the Cantillon effect. Why do you think they floated out Diamond here? He's not talking to you. He's warning the elites that the time is near. You understand? Overstand? Yet? Maybe? Hopefully? All right, guys, listen. I hope you got something out of this video. Bet against the system, as I've been telling you for 1,000 years. Make connections with the right people. You have a worldwide family here. Take advantage of this here. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and yes, financially as well. Okay, we got to be on the right side of this, because I'm telling you, they're not done. They are not done by a long shot. So just be ready for anything. All right. Love you all. See you later, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. I hope to see you there. And please comment. I want to hear from you on this. Are we on the same page? If we're not, that's fine. Tell me where I've got this wrong. And again, this is in your inbox. All this stuff is for you guys. It's for you, not for me, and it's all for free. Rhymes. Link in the description of this video. Read through this. Share this stuff. The more this stuff gets out there, the more people are going to wake up, and the stronger we become. Isn't that what you want? I know it's what I want. All right? I'll see you guys later.